Hey everyone, my name is Mickyelloow, and in this video, you will learn how to use the Somnium Builder and make some great structures with it. So what is the Builder? If you've bought some land during the Halo or during one of the funding campaigns, the Builder will let you, well, build on the land you purchased. You can place different kinds of items like walls, pillars, plants, and basic shapes. On those items, you can set a color and a texture, and you can even place a video player if you want. In the future, you'll also be able to upload custom models, create interactions inside your parcel using visual scripting, and much more. In the future, there'll also be a Unity SDK that will let you create more advanced stuff if you are more of an advanced user. But that's a topic for another day. Right now, we're just gonna focus on the Builder. This video is gonna be separated into 5 sections. First, we're gonna download the Builder, then we're gonna look at the UI, how it works, then we're gonna see the basic interactions you can do, then we'll look at more advanced stuff, and finally we're gonna look at an example I've made. So first step is to download the Builder. So open up your browser, go to their website, somniumspace.com, let it load, and at the top right of the window, you're gonna see a button that says Download Client. Click it and it's gonna start the download. At the end of the download, simply click the executable and it's gonna start installing right away. If you see the smart screen pop up, simply click on More Info and Run Anyway. Then simply install like you'd install any other software, and you'll be able to open the launcher. Once the launcher is open, simply accept all the agreements, and you're almost ready. If you already have a Somnium account, simply log in and you'll be ready to go. If you don't have an account, go at the bottom left of the launcher and you'll see a button called New Account. From there, enter your info, and once that's done, click Create Account. And you can then log in. And you're set up. If it's your first time downloading Somnium, then it might need to download some more files, and you'll see the progress bar at the bottom. Once everything is ready, you'll see a message at the bottom of the launcher saying Game was updated. From there, you can simply go and click Launch PC Client. Once you click it, you're gonna see a loading screen. Simply let it load. Might take some time at first, and there you go, you are now in the Builder. If it happens that you have some windows open like parcels, you can click on the 3 dots at the top right and go close. It's gonna close the window. Or you can go at the bottom and see all the tabs and click on the tabs that are open. The ones that are open are gonna have a little strip on the side. All we want is the Builder open. Now that the Builder is open, let's go see our parcels. To see your parcels, go at the top left and you'll see a drop-down menu called Choose Parcel to Build. Click it and you're gonna see all of the parcels you bought. Then all you have to do is click on one of your parcels, and there you go. You are on your parcel. And I think it's a good time to start the second section, which is we're gonna take a look at the UI. Let's start from the top menu because it's the simplest. At first, at the complete left, we've got the drop-down where you can select your parcel. You've got an FAQ button, so if you've got some questions, want to know the hotkeys and some of the restrictions, simply click on it and you'll be able to go see the questions, the hotkeys, or the restrictions. Right next to the FAQ button, you've got the time. This is to select a time of day to build. So you've got 3 options. You've got daytime, you've got nighttime, and you've got dynamic. If dynamic is selected, it's gonna be a day-night cycle, so it's gonna switch from day to night to day to night. If I let this run for a couple minutes, it's gonna be fully night. So I'm gonna just keep it there just for example. Then we've got performance. This button is if you've got a potato PC, you can click it and it's gonna restrict the render distance and the effects so you can build a bit easier and without performance hassles. Since I've got a beast of a PC, I'll let this unchecked. Then we've got zoom. I don't use that often because of one of the shortcuts, but you can just click and it's gonna zoom in or out. Then we've got the interface, so you can hide the bottom interface or show it. This is useful if you intend to take some screenshots of your builds from inside the Builder. And finally, we've got a VR preview. This is useful once you've got an almost complete build and you want to see the scale of everything. So let's say you've got a room that you want to see the scale of it. You can click it, you can go in VR and you're like, oh wow, it's way too big, and then you can make it smaller. And as you can see, the environment is getting pretty dark. That's because of the day-night cycle we toggled on. I'm just gonna put it back at daytime. Then we've got the bottom interface. So we've got a couple sections. We first got the level menu. This will let you adjust the height you're building on. So you've got a check mark that can toggle a grid. Useful if you want to place things pretty accurately. You've got also a slider to let you go up or down. And then there's a box on the side that lets you type in the height exactly. I'm just going to keep the slider at the bottom because I'm used to build like that. Then we got the credits. One thing with parcels is that depending on the size you've got, you're gonna have a different amount of credits, which is the amount of stuff you can put on your parcel. You cannot go above the limit. Let's say you've got 848 credits used out of 850, then you cannot place something that costs 5 because that will put you above the limit. Then we've got the tools, and those are gonna be useful when you're gonna start to build. And at the bottom here, you have a trash can. Not just something you press and throw something in the trash, no, it's literally a trash can. So you can see the stuff you erased, and then you can delete permanently or restore. Next to it, you have a clear parcel. So let's say you've got a build and you want to clear it, you can just press it and it's gonna have a confirmation box, and then you can press yes, and it's gonna clear your entire parcel and the history, so be careful with that. Next to it, you have undo and redo, the history, and then the save and upload function. So saving is gonna save locally on your computer, and upload is gonna upload to the Somnium servers, so everyone's gonna be able to see your build. Right now, upload is not working, but it's gonna be soon. Alright, one last thing is, I almost forgot to mention, is this bulldozer. It will let you put a foundation on your parcel. We're gonna take a deeper look at that later. Then, here comes the interesting stuff, the building blocks. So when you want to choose a category, just click on the drop down and you're gonna see all the different available categories you can choose from. Next is the section you can customize the parts you place down. You've got color and textures. So for the colors, you can click on your color and then apply color to the selected object. Pretty straightforward. Though right now I don't have any selected object because I don't have anything, but it's gonna apply the color to the object. And then you've got the texture section, and in there you can apply textures to the selected objects. Alright, I think we're done with the interface. Now let's start building. First, we need to know how to move, obviously. So to move around the builder, you've got a couple of options. First, you got the scroll wheel that lets you zoom in or out. That's why I said the zoom buttons weren't useful to me, because of course I've got the scroll wheel. But it might be useful for some people. To rotate around your parcel, hold on right click and you'll be able to move your mouse to move up, down, left, right, and just spin around. To move sideways on your parcel, hold on middle click and just move your mouse. You can also use WASD or the arrow keys to move sideways. Alright, let's build some stuff now. So, let's put down a wall. So I'm going to go in the walls category, and I'm going to put just a simple wall. Notice how it says CR2. That basically means that it's going to cost 2 credits to put down. So I'm going to select the wall and just put it down. And there you go. We've now got a wall down. And now notice how the credits meter says 2 out of 850. Because the wall costs 2 and I've put it down, it now went into the credits meter. So if I reach 850 and I want to put another wall, it will let me. Alright, now let's use the tools. We're gonna take a look at the little window over here. You've got 5 options. You've got move, rotate, scale, duplicate, and select. The first tool is the move tool. When move is selected, you'll see 3 arrows pointing in the 3 different axes. And with those arrows you can move forward, backward, left and right, and up and down. You can also move it in 2 different axes while locking the third one by using one of the little squares in the middle. And I can do the same if I want to go forward, back, up, down, or left, right, up, down. So that's the move tool. Next, we've got rotate. And it's the same principle. You've got 3 circles in all 3 different axes, and you can rotate in all different axes locally. You can either move in one axis, or you can move in all 3 by clicking anywhere on the sphere. Next, we've got scale. So let's say I want a very high wall. I can just go on the scale tool and click on the arrow that's pointing up and just stretch it. There you go. And I can do that for all different axes. So I can stretch up, I can stretch forward, which is not very useful in this case. Or I can stretch sideways. So I can have the biggest wall you've ever seen. Next tool, we've got duplicate. Select any piece and press duplicate, and you'll be able to duplicate that piece exactly. So the rotation, the scale, and you simply place it anywhere. And finally, we've got the select tool. This is useful when you want to apply different kinds of materials on different parts of a single piece. Let's say this wall. You've got the outside wall and you've got the inner wall. If I simply went to the color and apply, let's say, a big red, it will color both sides. But if I use the select tool, I can then select the first piece, click select, then let's say the inner wall, and paint it blue. So it's gonna paint the inner wall but not the outer wall. Very useful when you've got complex pieces with different textures. Talking color, let's see how that works. So if you want to select a color, in the color picker simply click any of the colors and apply color. And you've got a basic color picker with different kinds of colors. You've got pure white, pure black, and different shades of gray. And finally, you've got the textures. So let's say I wanted to apply a different texture for the inner wall. I'd go in the object textures and click either default textures or upload from PC. We're gonna see upload from PC later. I'm just going to go in default textures for now. Once I click on that, you'll see a bunch of different textures you can select from. So let's say I wanted something more brick inside. I select a brick texture and then go on and click apply texture. And there you go. I've got a brick texture. I can also apply a metallic texture, some marble, something fancy. You've got all kinds of options by default. Now, how do you delete stuff? Let's say that I've got a door, but I accidentally placed a fence inside. And I don't want that fence. All I have to do is select the fence and press delete on your keyboard. There you go, your piece is gone. But is it? Actually, remember the trash button we saw? Well, your fence is there, and you can either restore it or permanently delete it. If I press restore, it's going to place the fence right back where it was. But if I press permanent delete, well, now it's gone for the trash can and it's not there, so it's deleted for good. And in the trash can, you can hold multiple items at once, as you can see here. And if you've got multiple items and you want to delete all of them, you can simply press the main trash can at the top right. And there you go, all of your items are deleted at once. So you saw me use the tools by clicking in the menus, but did you know that there's actually some shortcuts you can use? Let me place a wall, for example. and I want to rotate it, but without using any of the menus. I can press Ctrl I, and it's going to pop up the rotation tool. I can press Ctrl O for the scale, and Ctrl U for the move. And of course, there's the Ctrl Z and Y for undo and redo. Also, when placing an item, you can right click and it's gonna spin it around 90 degrees. You can also cancel the placement by pressing backspace. Finally, you can duplicate an item by pressing Ctrl D. It will do the exact same thing as if you went to the menu duplicate. Well, I think that covers the basics. Now let's see some more advanced stuff. Now that my parcel is empty, I'm going to start something a bit more advanced by clicking the bulldozer icon. What it basically does is place some foundations on your land. And you may ask, why would you want to do that? Well, some pieces of land are not completely level, meaning that one corner might be higher up than the other. And if you don't use foundation for that, you might get some interesting results. So for the foundation, I'm gonna place it as low as I can go without the corner getting in the ground. So like this. Alright, now that we have some foundation, I'm also going to toggle on the grid. And you'll see why in a second. So, with the grid on, I'm gonna place a wall. And as you can see, the grid is a bit higher than the foundation, so the wall is a bit above the foundation. And if I raise the grid higher, the wall is gonna go even higher. But if I put the grid below the foundation, the wall is gonna max out at the foundation level. Now let's say I've got two walls and I want to place them exactly next to each other. Your first instinct will be to use the move tool to try and align them perfectly. But of course that's a bit of an hassle. But what you can do is go to the move tool and then hold V. And then you can select a corner. So let's say I want to align this corner with this corner here. I can just select the corner and move the wall up to that corner. There you go. The wall is perfectly aligned. No seams at all. And you can do that for any objects. So let's say this wall, a bit of a corner. Boom. Perfectly aligned. Let's say I wanted to place the corner of this plant on the corner of this wall. Bam, there you go. The corner is perfectly aligned. Even though I don't really see why you would do that, but hey, it's possible. And the snap to vertices tool, that's what we call this process, can also be used in conjunction with the grid. So let's say I want to put a wall. I can hold V and then just snap it to the grid. And this makes the building process very easy. Alright, now let's see about custom textures. I'm going to place a door for convenience, and I want to place a very odd texture around the door. I'm going to select the frame of the door, like this, and I'm going to go in the texture section and click on upload from PC. Difference here is you won't see any textures, and that's because you haven't uploaded anything. So simply click on the plus button and the window explorer is gonna show up. From there you can navigate to your folder and select a texture. And once you've selected it, it's going to show up in the custom textures window. Then you can simply click it and just click apply texture. And there you go, I've got a border around my door. Let's say I wanted to upload another texture. I simply click the plus again, select another texture, and do the same process. Select the texture, apply texture, boom, another texture. Quick note, you can only have 15 custom textures per parcel. So the custom textures are linked to your parcel, so if I upload here, then change parcel, they're not gonna be here. So you can only have 15 per parcel. But this might change in the future. You also have some items that have extra attributes. Let's say, first off, we've got lights. Alright, right now we don't really see it too much because it's daytime right now. So I'm just gonna switch it to night. And right here you can see that it's a light source that emits some light. It doesn't cast shadows, but it's a light source. But you may have noticed above the color and texture window, there's now some light settings that have appeared. And if the item has some more attributes, they're gonna show up here. For lights, you've got a radius, so you can change how far the light goes. And you've got the intensity, so how powerful the light is. On lights, you can also change the color, so I can put a blue light, a gray light, or any other colors really. You've also got a video player that has some more attributes you can choose from. If you put down a video player, it's first gonna show up white, so without anything playing. For that, go where the light settings were, and you're gonna see TV settings. You can put a link, you can upload, you can change the volume, though we don't have any video selected, so of course it's gonna pop up an error. You've got a looping function, you've got an auto start function, so when the parcel gets loaded up, it auto starts the video, and you've got a play pause. With the video player, you've got two options. Let's start by uploading a video. So I'm going to upload, let's see what I have. Let's say this. And right away, the video pops up on the video player. But it doesn't play. And it's because I didn't set to auto start. And of course it's not going to start because the parcel was already loaded. But you can press play on the side and it's gonna play the video. And this video doesn't have any sound, so that's why you cannot hear anything. So you can upload a video like we just did, or you can place a link. So click the little YouTube icon here and you can just paste a YouTube link, press OK, and the video is gonna play right away. And as you may notice, it now plays sound because this video has sound. And you may notice that zooming in or out, the sound gets quieter or louder. Once you want to preview your build, you can go up at the top right and click the VR preview button. When you do this, it's gonna pop you right into VR if you've got a VR headset plugged in. And depending on your headset, you have one button on your controller that will let you move around. In my case, I've got a Vive and I use the trackpad to move around. Once you're done with the preview, you can simply go on and click the VR preview button again, and you'll be out of the VR mode. Once you're happy with your build, you can simply go at the bottom left and click Save. And that's gonna save your progress locally on your device. So now if I close the builder and go back in, and then go back to the parcel, there you go, my build is still there. And the video starts playing automatically again because I have set it to play auto once it loads. Alright, now that you know how to build, let's see what you can actually do with all of those tools. So as an example, I'm going to show you my waterfront house that has been made entirely within the builder. So this is my build that I submitted for the building contest. And there's tons and tons and tons of stuff inside. As you can see, the credit is maxed out. So if I try to place anything else, you don't have enough points to input this item. I just cannot put anything else. But in the future, there's some stuff that I can remove and replace with cheaper options, so I can place even more stuff. And you'll see why in a sec. So first I've got a dance floor, because why not? I've got a balcony that you can see the city center, which is a pretty nice view. And I've got a second balcony leading to a pool. Inside, which gets interesting, I've got an entire entrance with a little mural on the wall. I've got some posters, I've got a map, and I've got a kitchen with a pretty nice view and some chairs. You may have noticed if you go in the furniture tab that there's nothing there. That's because I actually used walls to make the chairs. I've got a corner wall that costs 4 credits and 2 pillars that cost 1 credit each. Because in the future there's gonna be furniture, and right now I needed to use expensive items to make chairs. And I've got 8 of them. I've got 4 inside and 4 outside. But that also proves that you can use some kind of item to make another kind of item. Like I've got walls and pillars that make chairs. So you can use anything you have at your disposal to create anything you want. And this is where the builder shines. You can create anything you want with some basic shapes. And then I can also go in the VR preview and see the scale of everything. Like seeing your house on a 2D screen is something, of course, yeah. And just seeing your house in person is just, it's pretty amazing, honestly. So I hope this video was helpful, and I'm excited to see what you'll be able to bring to Somnium with the builder. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the metaverse.